a quick review of the Garmin Foretrex 401 series. Reason behind that is when I was purchasing it or attempting to buy it, I could not find anything about it except, hey, it's cool and buy it now. So what I'm going to do is just go through the menus really quick just for you to see what kind of features it has and what it does and whatnot. So I've already started up, but turn it off really quick just to show you it locks on to satellites pretty quickly. I'm in a vehicle right now here at Fort Bragg. So as you can see, it's already locked on. There's a little satellite right here. It tells you that it's locked on. This little meter, I don't know if you can't see it that well. That's the battery power, how much juice you got left. Okay. This is one of the main screens. It shows you as a little icon, and then it shows you direction for your next waypoint if you have it set. Mine is at my house, which is about 22 kilometers away. But we'll go through the menus and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you've got the simple power on, off button, the page and the go to, and the enter and the mark button. Okay, and then obviously your down and up buttons. The page one just scrolls through different pages, different menus. It shows you, for example, like your next destination, 22.8 kilometers away. This is set in metric system because I'm in the military, and most of these GPSs are used for military purposes anyway. The compass is a pretty neat feature. It tells you which way to go, and that little dot represents your waypoint. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. There's your elevation. This one goes over a period of time, or a distance, for example, for 200 meters. How much elevation changed? You could, of course, change that by pressing enter and zoom elevations and whatnot. So each page has a options menu per se. So okay, this next one is just more data for you. You can change all these fields. Next ETA for time, trip odometer, moving average of how fast you're moving, moving time, etc. Of course, if I hit enter, I can change the fields to whatever I want to change them. It's actually very easy to navigate. I didn't even have to look at the menu to look at it. So you got the next ETA, next ETE, odometer, off course, overall speed you're traveling at, the stop time, sunrise, which is GPS sunrise when the sun's gonna, and then sunset, time, to course, total ascent, total descent, total time, trip odometer, when is your next turn, the vertical speed, and all these other options that I don't really care about at this moment. All right, so so in this one, as you can see, you can go up and down. It has a little scroll bar right here. So every page has a different little data field that you can look at and change. This one, there's my location. I'm at Fort Bragg right now. Nothing crazy. All right, elevation. My speed, how fast I'm going. Everything you can change to whatever you want, whatever is available for you. Okay. Next one is your waypoints, tracks, routes. The basic setup, connect, which is for connecting to USB or wirelessly or whatnot. GPS. As you can see right now, I'm how many satellites I'm locked on. Okay. Jump master settings. This is for all of you paratroopers or Halo jumpers. Halo, hey-ho. You can set whatever you want. Desired impact point, drop altitude, forward throw. All the adjustments that a jump master will need in order to have a successful jump. Okay, so waypoints. We go to waypoints. You can create new, list all, or which ones are the nearest. If you create new, you can create the waypoint over here for Fort Bragg, which is going to be waypoint 2. Let's just say I want to do it. I can rename it later on. So I've got one waypoint, which is at my house, which is almost 23 clicks away, and one here at Fort Bragg. Okay. For tracks, you can clear tracks. It drops little crumbs everywhere you go. So it shows you how far you've walked and how you've walked, make turns or whatnot. So you can look at all these tracks, change the times on them, delete the tracks and whatnot. This is all just for purposes of knowing where you went or how you can get back on the same path. Routes, you can create routes, because if you go from waypoint to waypoint, it's going to go straight line. Routes, obviously, it's going to create you can create little points on intersections and tell a GPS of where you want to go instead of going straight line. Straight line, it's not really the preferred method, because you can always have get some sort of obstacles, or even be unpassable because of water or any other hazards. This GPS does not have any maps. It's pretty much just point and go, but it's definitely worth it. Okay, now in the setup menu, you can set up the time, the timer, display units. And I got an MGRS. You can go, different countries, and different settings. The maps, the distance. What do you want? Do you want metric, or statute, or nautical? Those are the options for that. Elevation, same thing. Vertical speed, minutes, kilometers. Pressure. Do you want it in millibars or HPA scales or inches? Yeah. Still trying to learn this GPS. As I said, I didn't even look at the manual. I just opened it up, put some batteries in, turned it on, and it was fairly easy to operate. Okay, for navigation, you got the same thing. You got the degrees, or you can change it to mils if you're a mortarman. The north reference. What do you want? Do you want true, magnetic, grid, or user input? It all depends on what you want. Okay, for compass, you can have it automatic, or you can turn it off, and then you calibrate the compass by turning it clockwise or either direction twice around. It's fairly easy. All right. For the system menus, you got the GPS mode, which is battery save. The GPS turns off after a little bit, saves the battery quite a lot. Beeper, you can have a beeper every time you hit a button, which is not really the preferred way. Then you got the battery, what kind of battery you're using. You can change that to have better performance. Language, there's crazy amount of languages. I'm not going to go through them all. I don't really have time for that. Spanner, I don't even know what that is at the moment. And owner info, where you can input your information for the GPS. I really wouldn't do that, especially if you're going to combat, because if you lose it and you don't want somebody to know who you are and where you live, it's kind of a operational security violation. All right. Track's the same thing. You can turn the recording on or off. You can do it by distance and then interval. Like, what do you want? A couple 100 meters, 1,000 meters to drop a chrome. So the memory, I didn't read up on it, but the memory is fairly small, but big at the same time for these tracks. So obviously, the less crumbs it drops, it uses the less memory. So it's up to you on how you want to do that. Okay, so we'll go to the next page. So we already went to set up connect. To receive wirelessly, you can connect your heart rate monitor or bike cadence sensor to heart monitors. It's about $50 on eBay, brand new. There's two different ones. There's the regular one. There's a premium. Supposedly the premium one works much better than just the regular one. Of course, the price is jacked up on it a little bit. All right. GPS, already went through that. Jumpmaster already went through that. So that's the settings menu, pretty much. And here we are back to square one again. Little guy showing me where I gotta go, which is my house, because I'm at waypoint 2, and my house is 23 clicks away almost. So once again, I'm going to go through the menu really quick for you to see. The compass, next ETA. You can change all the fields, elevation, next ETA, tripodometer, waypoints, etc., etc. It's fairly simple, but at the same time, it's very useful, and especially because you can customize the fields to whatever you need. Let me go through these again for you. So, next ETA, next ETE, odometer, off course, overall speed, stop time, sunrise, sunset time, to course, total ascent, total descent, total time, tripodometer, turn, vertical speed. What is that, VMG or WMG? VMG, whatever that is. And that's about it. I mean, I got this at REI when it was on sale for about $130, but this is a great product, and I definitely would not deploy it without it, especially if you're in rural Afghanistan or anywhere where you don't really have much support. It does take 2 AA batteries. It lasts supposedly over 8 hours per charge on continuous use. Longer on battery save mode, and obviously longer than if you have it turned off and you only use it for specific times. It looks fairly durable. Strap, I don't know if you can see, but the strap is it's pretty thick. It's a pretty thick Velcro, so it's not necessarily all that big, but it gets the job done. But that's it. So there's your Foretrex 401 GPS, personal GPS, mainly used for military purposes, but you can also use it as a runner or hunter or whatever you want. But that's that. If you got any questions, go ahead and ask. I will probably not answer you because I am deploying soon to places.